So you should have your new Unit 8 math packet in front of you, and you should have finished taking your Unit 5 math test. So our first topic that I'm going to introduce is called dot plot and line plots. They're actually pretty simple. So what we're going to do is go through this front page. This is page number 1 in your packet. I'd like you to write exactly as I write on your paper. This will give you a little introduction, and then you'll be able to play the dot plot and line plot game activity when you're finished watching this video. So let's dive in. Dot plots and line plots. Pretty simple as to why they got their name. Dot plots use small dots, and it's a graph that displays a frequency of numerical data. Another way to write that is it shows you how many times a number is used, and it uses that through dots. There's always a title, and then there's always something called an axis, which is kind of like the label below the x-axis here on every dot plot. The only difference between a dot plot and a line plot is that a line plot uses x's instead of dots to represent data. So they're both very, very similar. One just uses circles, one uses x's. So we're going to create a dot plot together. And there are 3 simple steps when we're creating a dot plot. Number 1 is to find the smallest and the biggest numbers, and then create a number line with those at the ends. So I'm going to give you a list of numbers. Underneath where it says class's favorite numbers are, I'm using data from another classroom. There are 23 students, and I'm going to list all 23 numbers, and I want you to list them right underneath here where it says class's favorite numbers are. So they were asked what their favorite number is between 1 and 10. Okay, so I'm going to list to you, and they're in random order, but I'd like you to write them all down. So here are the favorite numbers: 2, 7, 5, 7, 7, 3, 1, 10, 9, 8, 2, 1, 4, 7, 6, 9, 9, 10, 3, 5, 2, and 1. Let's see how many I have. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. All right, so we have 22 numbers, and you should have those written down on your paper, okay, in that exact order. So if you need to pause the video now to take a minute to write down all those numbers, do that now. I'm going to create a line plot based on all of those numbers. So I'm going to start first by creating a title and then adding a label to my axis. So my title is going to be class's favorite numbers. Okay, so you should have that about right here in the center, right where your line is below on page 1. And we're going to have that right above there. And then we need to label our axis, and this is going to be a dot plot, and it's going to be dot plot. All right. So now I'm going to find my smallest and my biggest number. So my smallest number was number 1, so that's going to go all the way down here on the left. And then my largest number was number 10. I'm going to go one by one through each data point and create a dot above that number. Create them as you use them. So now I'm going to make sure I see every single number in between from 1 to 10, 2, and we have 3, 4, 5. I'm going to move this up a little bit. You guys can see it a little bit more. And then all the way to 10. So I'm going to continue inserting it. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, they're not exactly even, but yours should be evenly spaced out on your number line from 1 to 10. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply go through one by one and create a dot above each. So I have a 2, and you can do an X or a dot, up to you. I'm going to do X's just because it's easiest. And then 7, and then a 5. I'm just putting the X's right above. I see another 7, so it just goes right on top, and it needs to be in a nice straight line. That one's not very straight, but you get the gist. And you're going to go through all 22 numbers. So you should have 22 X's or dots on your line or dot plot when you're completely finished. All right, and that's as simple as it is. So you look at data points, find your smallest and biggest, those are the ends, fill in the rest, and then mark your X's from using those numbers. So you're going to finish creating this dot plot on your own on page number 1, and then once you have finished page 1, then you can go up to the front and get the dot plot roll game. You can start the game on your own if you don't have a partner or if you can't see anyone who also is finished, but you can also do the game with a partner if someone else is also finished as well. So you'll do that game, and then once you finish that game, you can ask Mrs. Thomas what you can do after that.